Okay, so welcome to demonstration video 1 for B06 using Python packages. In this video, we're just going to briefly touch on revising in Python 3 some ways of manipulating lists using Python. So we can create a variable called var1 here containing three elements, Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So this is elements 0, 1, and 2, which means if we say print var1 with square brackets for 2, we get Charlie back. We can convert these to uppercase if we want with the dot upper function, which is added on to the end of this single variable Alice, and that will print Alice as uppercase only. We can also check if the function is true or false on the basis of whether var10 Alice is uppercase or not. That will be true or false that we get back. In the same way, we can actually add on to a string here. So that we have this string here, which is Charlie. Sorry, it's Bob. With the plus sign there at the end to add this string of text on the end to it. So this will print out Bob, are you here? Another option, if you want to print out a string literal containing the exact text in this manner, is put three quotes at the start and at the end. So that will print out this intervening text exactly as it is. So this may be convenient if you want to print out something specific that maybe Python, the default printing, struggles with. So this will give you this text in this format at the end. So it'll exactly matches what you see above. Another convenient function for using Python is the join function. So the join function can join a string together multiple times. So this will take var1 and it'll put var1 in between each of the characters here. So if you have three characters like the example here, it'll put Bob in between. So we get underscore Bob, then dash Bob, then asterisk at the end. If we just had two elements with no asterisks, we just get Bob with an underscore before and a dash at the end. Equally, if we had another element, let's say a circumflex there, that would go at the end, and then we get another Bob here after the asterisk. Another handy function you might see is reversing. So you can reverse the arrangement of an element using the two colon characters, and that will print out the reverse version of that string. Similarly, we have the split function. So split will take a string, which is Charlie here, and we'll split it on AR. So that will split it into two elements, and these go into var2. So var2 contains a first element, CH, and a second element, LIE. And we can check that by printing it out here at the bottom. So next, let's move to the Python interpreter just to test some of these things out. Let's try some of these things that we had. So we had var1 that we were creating. So if you look at var1 and check what var1 is, we can see that it contains Alice, Bob, and Charlie. Now, if we try some of the things that we had earlier, we can make something into uppercase by printing out this variable. And if we change that to a different character, like number element 2, that will print out Charlie in uppercase. We can also test if it is upper using that command I showed you, is.upper. You see here it evaluates as false. We can bring these together if we want. So if we have upper here as one function, we can say is upper here at the end, which is now true because this is Alice in capitals and then is upper at the end, which is true. So in this way, we can add on functions to each other, though this is not really good practice because it gets confusing and it's hard to read. We can add on functions to each other. So we can see here that we see Bob, are you here? And then we can add on more functions here if we want, like hey plus hey Bob, are you here? And then we can also join characters together. So we had the example before. And say if we add on circumflex here and then an @ symbol at the end, we can see that Bob is placed between each of them. If we change this to element 0, it's Alice instead. If we change this to the whole list, you can see that it doesn't work. So we need it to be a single vector. Another thing that we can try is reversing a string. So if we look at this reverse string, this prints Charlie backwards. So this will take that vector and reverse it from the digit that's given. So you can see there we have Alice, and that's going back. It's taking away the I, as you can see. If we need to like print, if we go to that element 0 for Alice, sorry, this one is Charlie without the H and R and I. So it's doing every second one there with the -2. I meant this first variable here. If we change that, that's Alice. And then if we go back to -2, we can predict then, based on what we had before, that will be AIE, which we get. And if we do every third character, you can see that we just get L and E retained. So it's a way of manipulating characters. And then we had the example of splitting Charlie, for example, on AR, and we can see that we can split by different things. And if we do that for Alice, we would get oh, there's Charlie. Okay, then we do it for Alice, we get A and ICE. So that kind of concludes our introduction to a revision of strings and manipulations. So please see the next video on dictionaries.